Hey Dad, thought I'd take a little video before it gets dark. I've been driving all day long to get to, well, went down through Mountain View, always get those confused, and stopped, and their Walmart was pretty pitiful. Drove through town, didn't find a grocery store, went to Winona, past that, took a detour to see a mill. I can't remember the name of the mill. I'll show it to you on this clip. But almost ran out of gas because this thing is really sucking gas pulling that trailer. It's surprising how much more gas it burns. Anyway, drove to Centerville, got the county courthouse at 5 minutes to 4 before they closed, got my permit for county roads, drove back up to Cindy's Get and Go, and that's where you get the trail permit. Then I took off up 72 and went about 5 miles and realized, I need to come back and go down here. Went through Centerville again, started taking gravel roads, ended up down here at the end of this road, just looking. The campground was closed, had a gate across it, so I just kept driving until I found a dead-end gravel road. I hope you can see this. The sun's starting to go down, or sun's already down, it's cloudy. There I'm setting up camp. I'll show you that in a second. There's a bluff, there's a river over here, but looks like some people were here. Matter of fact, when I got to this camp spot, I started walking around. I was going to do that one over there. There's a fire pit where some people had been, but it's sort of out in the middle of nothing. But look at that bluff up there. I'm completely surrounded. The bluff starts there. Surrounded. I'm like in a box canyon, except the river does go down through there. So the wind situation ought to be good. Anyway, first order of business, build fire. I brought a little of that walnut I'm never going to turn on the lathe. So I got my fire going. And this, oh yeah, I was going to tell you, this is the fire pit that somebody covered it up with sand. I pulled the sand off. There was embers. I started throwing sticks on, and what do you know? Voila, fire. So now, I didn't really plan it, but I brought this tarp to carry firewood, and I've decided to put it up because there's a chance of rain, and wouldn't it be nice to be underneath that if it just comes rain? So I brought some wire. I don't know if you can see that wire, but I'm wiring that thing up to the trees, and gonna have a nice cover. And right there, I've already smoothed out the sand. That's where my tent's going. So it's gonna be good. There's your rhino. I used it to step up and tie onto that tree. There's all the stuff I threw in the back. You know how that goes. Anyway, love you, and more later. I'm a little trouble finding a level spot. I made the coffee and oh, my back, man, I mean that pad is good, but just sleeping on the ground. I finally doubled that thing up to get up under my back. I don't know why that took me all night. Anyway, here's the camp. Made some coffee, and now I'm trying to get this fire to make sure it stays out. And there's a creek running by. Now I'm rigging up the tripod so you can have a little view of my first journey out. Got that thing secured there. Got another leg secured there. And that leg is stuck down in the door. This sucker's really pretty fixed. I need to tighten that leg up or extend that leg a little. Anyway, and my tripod or my camera clip in there, but got my GPS, new batteries. I think we're ready to roll. Alright, let's get this show on the road. Or choke. There's some coffee. GPS is on. That's pretty important around here because I have no idea where I am. High gear. Uh-oh. Wonder how bumpy your ride's going to be. There's the camp. Get the seatbelts on.
I got a pig at home and a pig corn to feed him on. All I need is a pretty little girl to feed him when I'm gone. Yonder comes a gal of mine. How do you think I know? Not by the gingham gown hanging down so low. I got a pig at home and a pig corn to feed him on. All I need is a pretty little girl to feed him when I'm gone. home in the pen, corn to feed him on. All I need is a pretty little girl to feed him when I'm gone. Bake 'em biscuits, baby, bake 'em good and brown. When you get them biscuits, bake 'em Alabama bound. I got a pig at home to feed him, corn to feed him on. All I need is a pretty little girl to feed him when I'm gone.
now which way? See that way down there? Or back the other way? You know what I just remembered was I really intended to put some sort of wind thing on that microphone, because the wind noise is just unbearable when you're watching this. So I'm going to scrounge a little piece of duct tape and see if I can find the microphone and see what that'll do for us. Not sure where the microphone is. Alright, I found the microphone, put a little duct tape over it, so hopefully that wind noise will be better.
Shining up through my shoes. Underneath I'm just a cotton picker, picking out a mess of blues. Show me where I start, find a horse and cart. I'm just a country boy at heart. I may look like a bank teller, pushing facts in a file, but I'd rather be a hog caller, chewing cut home style. Show me where I start, find a horse and cart. I'm just a country boy at heart.
probably towards camp. This way is probably away from camp. That is gorgeous.
I left my old home in the mountains, and the only friend I ever had. And while I travel this world over, my heart's bed's so lonely and sad. I'm going back to the old home, back to the place I love so well, where the sweet waters flow and the wildflowers grow. Back to the old home on the hill. I know my dear old mother's waiting alone on the hill, with silver in her hair and a twinkle in her eye, in the old cabin home on the hill. I'm going back to the old home, back to the place I love so well, where the sweet waters flow and the wildflowers grow. Back to the old home on the hill. Years have gone by since I saw her. I've traveled many a mile, but tonight there's a light in the window, and she's waiting at the door with a smile. I'm going back to the old home, back to the place I love so well, where the sweet waters flow and the wildflowers grow. Back to the old home on the hill. Old home, back to the place I love so well, where the sweet waters flow and the wildflowers grow. Back to the old home on the hill.
843. We got that way, and we got this way.
Highway 40 blues, I've walked holes in both my shoes, counted the days since I've been gone, and I'd love to see the lights of home. Wasted time and money too, squandered youth in search of truth, but in the end I had to lose. The Lord above paid my dues. Got the Highway 40 blues. The highway car when I was young told me lies of things to come. Fame and fortune lies ahead, it's what the billboard lights would say. Shattered dreams, my mind is numb. filled with bitter tears. Lord, I ain't been home in years. Got the Highway 40 blues. You know I've rambled all around like a rolling stone from town to town. Met pretty girls, I have to say, but none of them could make me stay. Well, I've played the music halls and bars, had fancy clothes and big fine cars, things a country boy can't use. Dixieland sure miss you. Got the Highway 40 blues.
It's like the end of the road. It just quits. Almost like there used to be a trail up there. Looks like a good place for a cup of coffee. Man, whoa! How you doing over there? Let's see if I can figure out where we are. Right there. I don't know if you can see it. Camp, looped around, so camps. Right down in there. Oh. I got this thermos in Flagstaff at a Starbucks. Probably cost me like 30 bucks full of coffee, but man, best money I've ever spent. Some of the best money I've ever spent. I have enjoyed it thoroughly. I think it's recording. Yep. Had a little trouble opening it because it's got dust. Picking up a lot of dust. Not the greatest for my camera. Oh well. Just been to Oates, Missouri. Followed this gravel road and Went down to Oates, which is on Highway J. Let's go. So I was looking on the GPS and it shows Mill Spring. So I came down here and sure enough, it says we're 357 feet away. Turned out to be a really nice day. I'm going to be able to shed these overalls, stocking cap. Might even just go skinny dip and take a little bath. How about that? Yeah, looks like an old road. Using the iPhone for this because the camera's memory is full. It's almost like they had this dammed up. Which makes sense. Lots of little grist mills along every little stream back in the day. That one I stopped at yesterday, they said it probably just powered, or just served just a few families in the area. I think I better go this way. Good grief, look at that log. I haven't seen that much moss on a log in a long time. There it is. That might be the hard way to get out. Yep, had an old pool there.
Loneliness taking me on a one-way trip home down the track. My soul is burning, the wheels are turning. Hey, Mr. Engineer, won't you bring my baby back? Well, she left me this morning, my head hanging low. You can hear that whistle blow. I don't know what I'd done, I must have had too much fun. Lord, I hate to see her go. My heart's breaking, loneliness taking me on a one-way trip home down the track. My soul is burning, the wheels are turning. Hey, Mr. Engineer, won't you bring my baby back? I'm headed down a one-way track, and one-ways don't turn back. They just keep going on and on. It's down in my soul, and I'm about to lose control. And there's just one thing you must know. My heart's breaking, loneliness taking me on a one-way trip home down the track. My soul is burning, the wheels are turning. Hey, Mr. Engineer, won't you bring my baby back? My heart's breaking, loneliness taking me on a one-way trip home down the track. My soul is burning, the wheels are turning. Hey, Mr. Engineer, won't you bring my baby back? My heart's breaking, loneliness taking me on a one-way trip home down the track. My soul is burning, the wheels are turning. Hey, Mr. Engineer, won't you bring my baby back? sweet baby's arms. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Lay around the shack till the mail train gets back, and roll in my sweet baby's arms. I ain't gonna work on the railroad, ain't gonna work on the farm. Lay around the shack till the mail train gets back, and roll in my sweet baby's arms. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Lay around the shack till the mail train gets back, and roll in my sweet baby's arms. Now where was you last Friday night while I was lying in jail? Walking the streets with another man, and you wouldn't even go my bell. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Lay around the shack till the mail train gets back, and roll in my sweet baby's arms. I know your parents don't like me. They run me away from your door. Had my life to live over, never go there anymore. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Lay around the shack till the mail train gets back, and roll in my sweet baby's arms. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Lay around the shack till the mail train gets back, and roll in my sweet baby's arms. Oh, the people would come from far away, the dance all night till the break of day. When the caller would holler, do-si-do, the new Uncle Finn was ready to go. Late in the evening, about sundown, high on the hill and above the town, Uncle Finn played a fiddle, Lord, how it rang. You could hear it talk, you could hear it sing. Played an old tune called Soldier's Joy, and played a one called the Boston Boy. Prettiest of all was Jenny Lind Me, that's where the fiddling began. Late in the evening, about sundown, high on the hill and above the town, Uncle Finn played the fiddle, Lord, how it rang. You could hear it talk, you could hear it sing. Forget that mournful day when Uncle Finn was called away. He hung up his fiddle and he hung up his bow, and he knew it was time for him to go. Late in the evening, about sundown, high on the hill and above the town, where Uncle Finn played a fiddle, Lord, how it ring, you could hear it talk, you could hear it sing. Late in the evening, about sundown, high on the hill and above the town, on the fifth played a fiddle, Lord, how it rang. You could hear it talk, you could hear it sing. Granddaddy was a miner, but he finally saw the light. He didn't have much, just a beat-up truck and a dream about a better life. Grandmama cried when she waved goodbye. You never heard such a lonesome sound. Pretty soon the dirt road turned into blacktop, Detroit City bound. Down that hillbilly highway, on that highway, that old hillbilly highway, it goes on and on. Now he worked and saved his money so that one day he might send my daddy off to college to use his brains and not his hands. Grandmama cried when he said goodbye. You never heard such a lonesome sound. Daddy had himself a good job in Houston, one more rolling down that old hillbilly highway, that old hillbilly highway, that old hillbilly highway, it goes on and on.
Checking to see how the lens is doing. Might be getting a little dusty.
Now Granddaddy rolled over in his grave the day that I quit school. I just sat around the house, I played my guitar, and Daddy said I was a fool. My mama cried when I said goodbye. You never heard such a lonesome sound. Now standing on this highway, and if you're going my way, you know where I'm bound. Down that hillbilly highway, on that hillbilly highway, that old hillbilly highway, goes on and on. On that
Okay, that 940. I don't know if you can see that. Got my sunglasses on and they're all dusted up. But oh my gosh, there's so much dust. Let me get that. I'll follow that 940. Where's that going to take me? McMurtry Creek. I think that's the one that dead ends. Yeah, it does. I got to stay on this 903. That GPS has been wonderful. Stop for a little water stop. Somebody really wants me to go that way. Turns out it is the way I'm going to go. That's Route 903. That's where we've been. That's what we're in. The Rhino 450. Oh. When did that happen? Ooh, dang. I need to work on that. Might need to get a new little skid plate. Oh, there's metal underneath it. It's just the plastic, but I'm not sure when that happened. Huh. There's Crawdaddy Longleg. Things running good. Got me a little firewood for tonight. I still haven't had breakfast. Just glove on. Keep my hand from freezing. GPS time. Oh. Hang a right. Stay on 903. So you can't always trust arrows on trees. bet that's that guy's mailbox right there. The one with all the skulls on his pins. So we got a four-way road here. I think I remember seeing this on the GPS map. How about that? Well, I'm gonna shut her off for now. Hope you've enjoyed this. Love you, Dad. So we're at this crossroads. So I'm gonna take this route 908. I can follow it with my cursor and see where it takes me. 908 down due south. Bill's Creek. I'll be following Bill's Creek, it looks like, the whole way. Spring Branch, 908. Lick Creek. And see, right down here it shows a dotted line. That's where I was before. So I'm gonna loop around and get back on my path in about 5.5 miles. 5.31 due south. So this gives me the heading and the distance to wherever I move my cursor to. So if I want to go there, and then I could even, if I wanted, if I was going cross country, didn't have a road to follow, I could say, go to. Are you ready to go to? Yes. You want a new go to? Yes. And it draws a line, go to Missouri AC, yes. And so now, it takes you back to where you are, and it draws this line, straight line, as the crow flies to that point. Gives you the bearing 163, distance 5.36, and you can just take off cross country and end up there, crossing creeks and whatever you have to do. But anyway, I'll just follow 908. So there you go. Kirk out. So now I'm back at camp. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Finally made it back. And look what I've got going here. Does that look good? I like places like this where the cedars are growing and it seems like the rocks are growing out with them. You ready for this? There's my camp spot. Talk about serendipity. I'm just so glad that campground I was planning to stay in was closed. I remember years ago standing up on a bluff like this looking over the Current River. Me and Tom Johnson climbed up there around Pull Tight. How about that? That's a dandy. Look at that. Wow. I'm just coming up off the bluff where I took a picture of the camp, coming down through this ravine. Saw one snake. I usually don't see snakes. It was a tiny little thing, which I've heard people say that those have possibly a lot of venom, or maybe it's just in the young ones. Talked to the conservation guys I saw up on Bell Mountain Vista. Asked them what happened with all these nice trees going down, and they said there was a severe storm in this area that took down a ton of trees, a huge amount of trees. And they were saying it was fairly unpublicized for as big a deal as it really was. But seeing these kind of trees, just nice trees, overturned all day, I've seen that throughout my travels. I'm wondering if I can get down there, if I get down to there to the river, and I can't get around that bluff, I am really going to be bumming. Because I don't have to go way back up that. Shoot. Well, we'll see. Oh, another cave. Oh, that one might actually go someplace. I'll have to come back and explore it with the flashlight. Maybe. Well, I'm running low on battery. Let's just go around this and see. Dang, lots of bushes. Or stickers, I mean. I was afraid of that. I could always just wade across. These boots are supposed to be waterproof. Or I could wade through that. I think I might try and make that, but not with the iPhone 4 in my hand. So, while I took my little hike to the cave, I let some beans pre-soak. And now I've drained them, added water, and a ham hock, and a bunch of salt, pepper, and garlic. So we'll just see if that's any good when I get back. Starting to haul in a little firewood, going out for another ride. Well, after I let's see, I went up to, oh, I looked at the map and it turns out up there that is Cook's Cave. It's on that Missouri detail map called Cook's Cave. And what's funny is on the map they show a road going all the way around following the river. So I guess that's what this used to go through, and they've blocked it off to protect the waterways. But anyway, came back and I put on that pot of beans and I went for a ride. I've been going a couple hours, man. I just now went into a puddle and it was deep. You can sort of see, but it splashed. I had water in the floorboard, splashed up on my butt. I mean, it was deep, and I didn't even have it in four-wheel drive, so I just gave her the gas and I was out. So let's see how the beans are doing. I've got this funny feeling that they're going to be wonderful. Look at that. Oh, man. Whoops, I accidentally got that big old chunk of ham. Oh man. A little juice. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. And all I did was dump garlic. You can see those garlic flakes are still flakes. They didn't dissolve. I thought they would. And a bunch of pepper and some salt. Oh man, that's so good. But I think I'm going to take a bath. So I got to get a big fire going. Go over here and find a swimming hole. That right there ought to do. And set my towel on that rock. Dry off. Come up the hill. Stand by the fire. And get back from hypothermia. Don't I have a pretty place to stay? When I was here earlier, the wind was whipping up, but now it's just settled down. There's my tarp. Mighty fine.